African tourists coming down in the savannah. They want him as the main entertainer. When they fed over money like fire, woman, classic and wine, and they pay the hard work and no mind. He said that he want them people to know. From now on he is singing so. Before they put the thing up on the head, he want them to pack up the thing with bread. So I so gone dread. So I so gone dread. Go rap to them bald heads. Tell them I so gone dread. Hello. Go rap to them bald heads. Bald heads.
By Calypso. Our stories are told. Our stories are told. This is Calypso History Month on I-95.5 FM.
Hey Kenny, give me a little drums. A little thing. Nice. Give me the bass. Nice, you sound good. Some keyboards. Right, keep it in. Nice! Horns! Keep it in, nice! Hey! La da 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 da. Bam bam!
Join us this Sunday for episode 41 of Eye on Dependency, where every life is a biography.
Some people become addicted to a substance or activity out of curiosity or even predisposition. But then there are poly addicts. Meet Shalama.
Smoked cigarettes from 11 years and alcohol started from 15.
But that was just the beginning. Her marijuana use triggered psychosis.
I was hallucinating, I was here. Ended up in Ward 1.
And if that wasn't enough, to food was another battle she had to face.
I was really big, close to 500 pounds when I started my diet.
Today, Shalama is no longer trapped in that cycle. She is now an addictions counselor at the new Life Ministries Rehabilitation Centre for Women. Listen live this Sunday from 10 a.m. on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. The Counter-Trafficking Unit, Ministry of Homeland Security brings you Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and the world by extension. Welcome to Eye on Dependency, the program that takes a deeper look at the human stories behind substance use, recovery, trafficking, and reintegration, all of that.
This week, we continue our series on women in recovery with the story of a woman who has faced multiple addictions: cigarettes, alcohol, marijuana, and even food. And she lived to tell the tale.
Her name is Shalama, and today she's an addictions counselor at the New Life Ministries Rehabilitation Centre for Women. But her journey to get there was anything but easy.
So from psychosis to purpose. This is her story, and let us welcome Shamala to Eye on Dependency. It's her first time with us. Welcome.
Hello, good morning. Thank you both for having me here. Morning. My name is Shalama Rahman. I am 38 years. I have been using substance for 23 years. I am 2 years, 16 days today. Just for today. I am a mother of two beautiful girls, 18 and 13. I live with my common-law husband. I have no parents. I have an older Down syndrome brother. I have a younger brother also. I do live with depression and anxiety. I am I also have a CSF leak on the left side of my head, which I was supposed to get surgery. But praise and thank God, in recovery, everything healing.
Well, before we move on,
Yeah.
and we, as usual, we like to, for those parents or families listening especially, we love to connect the dots.
Okay.
And your journey, as long as it was, you started, how did life start for you? Because we want to talk about predisposition and all of that. We try to get the listeners here to connect the dots in what can be affecting their child, and some of them don't even, or children, some of them don't even know where it started. You're a good case for that, so let's go back from...
Okay. From where I could remember,
Mhm.
when I was 9 years, my mom passed away. And that was where I started to isolate myself. My father, he went into a depression, and I kind of absorbed that from him because he worked long hours and nobody was really there to supervise us. We had cleaners, like people to come and maintain the house, cook, clean, but nobody to really give us the love and nurture of parents.
And the relationship between both of them was good,
Yeah.
or they had...
Between my mother and father?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically normal. You know, they could have their husband and wife fights. And older years now, I could understand certain things. But they had a very good relationship because, as I said, my father went through a depression when she died.
Yeah. And
And
she died unexpectedly.
Yes,
Nobody,
she
right.
had
She wasn't.
she had diabetes and she didn't know. And she had a sugar addiction because she always had chocolates.
Mhm.
She used to smoke cigarettes. Not really a big drinker, but the chocolates.
Right.
My father, after she died, he started to drink more. You know, I used to have to be with my older Down syndrome brother, as I said, and my younger brother to be the adult home. I talk about this is when I was 13 years, well, 11.
Right.
Have to be with them whole weekend. Because
So even at that age, your responsibility started.
yes, my
as
responsibility
You had
started.
to be an adult from the age of
Yes.
13.
Yes, and
And
what used to
11.
get me to, he used to tell me that's your womanly duty.
What?
Yeah, my father, he used to tell me that.
That's your womanly duty.
Yes. So
Serious?
to see about the house and, you know,
Oh, you had one of those fathers?
yeah. But I
Oh.
mean, as I said, my younger brother, he was a big help in me maintaining sanity. I grew up with a depression.
So
I
that
was
just hold
suicidal.
on. So that means your mother was a housewife then?
Yeah.
Because, people, men who
Mhm,
think
yeah.
like
she
that.
Said she used to keep the house real good. We had a hall we couldn't go in. Like when guests come, then then that could go in there. We can't go there and mess it up. We have
Yes.
a room for ourselves. So yeah, it was challenging growing up and having to take on these responsibilities. But I was hard and I never used to do it too. So I used to get a lot of trouble because when mommy died, daddy had to leave his work. So he used to work in Princestown selling parts. He had a parts place in Princestown. He did open a parlor for her, a mini mart. So he had to come and just consume his whole self there. So he used to be home, but still, he was not there, present. He was always in the mini mart. I mean, it right there. It was
Yeah.
in the same compound, but we had real privilege. My house was the free for all. That's how I started smoking because the children in my settlement, is like divorce. So it's basically one parent raising children. And they came by me, and that was how I started smoking because they could have get the substance. My house was where they could have do it. And I started smoking from 11 years. And at first we did it because everybody else was doing it. My mother used to do it. As I say, I grew up seeing my family. My father used to smoke, my mother used to smoke. And then, the alcohol was, anytime I'd have a line with family, alcohol always in the midst.
Ever present, yeah.
Yeah. And then my father used to make homemade wine. So I used to teach the wine, and me and my friends used to drink. but I was always the one could handle it, and they will get drunk before I even get a buzz. You know, that was me, you know, but...
So that means you were seasoned already at that age?
I was seasoned at 11.
Now, let's trace a bit in the family line. Was your father, grandfather, grandmother, were they drinkers as well, as far as you know?
As far as I know, and not my grandmother's side, yeah. On my grandmother on my mother's side, yeah, they used to drink and thing, but I do have a addiction. Certain family members have addiction also.
Right, we'll get to that later down. So go ahead. Yeah.
Right, so going to school was very hard for me. I was overweight ever since I know myself. I was always fattest in the room. I used to always say that. Any fat joke you think about, I know it. Yeah, telling you, Beulah, chubby, where you going with all that size, you know, it's like everything. I was big, and I was in the hospital clinic in San Fernando from the age 7. When my mom passed, my father said, "You big bone." So he kind of make me feel comfortable to keep living.
Because you're big bone.
Because a big bone is like, hey, that's how you is. That's how you are. You know, and I grew with that. He sheltered me a lot. You know, I never really went to shop and buy clothes for myself. He kind of raised me like one of the boys too. You know, his 2 boy children. I had long, nice hair, and he couldn't take care of it, so he cut it out, and that broke me, yeah. And then being overweight and going to school, I was really quiet.
Was it safe to say you had low self-esteem?
I had no self-esteem, none. You know, I used to walk into a room and just try to be invisible, but my size will talk. From the time people see me near the stairs, I learned to read the eyes. You know, as you walk in the room, everybody's eyes turn as way, I saw fat that girl there. You know, and these thoughts stick in my head. These thoughts make me hate me. I didn't have no love for myself. You know, I was just a pushover. Anything anybody wanted, I will do because I crave attention, affection.
I wanted to please people.
Yeah, I wanted to please people. And then my father, he didn't really give this the affection we needed. I used to see my younger brother go to hug up my father, and it's like he used to push him away, and that took a toll on me. It made me afraid to, you know, I don't want to get rejected because I'd done being told all kind of thing about myself, and in my mind it's like I'm not going and put myself out there.
Well, at what point did after having gone through, you know, the trauma of losing your mother, starting to use substances, you know, before you turned a teenager, cigarettes and alcohol, trying to cope with all of these things, also the curiosity and the peer influence of using these substances, at what point did marijuana enter the picture, or was that much later
That's
on?
much later on, because that my marijuana use came down when it was decriminalized. You know, people like to say it's legal. It's not legal. It's decriminalized. So
Right, okay.
that's then.
So then let's stick with your teenage and years and
so
young
that's
adulthood.
alcohol and food.
Right.
So I used to binge eat. So I used to hide and just eat. I never used to eat in public because people don't stare at me. So home, my father had a mini mart, as I say. When he sent me in the shop, I run and take a chocolate. I remember the pinola and shoving the whole thing in my mouth and just trying to eat it fast because I don't want nobody to see me, you know. And all this helped blow me up to the size I was, you know. And then I used to hate myself for doing it, but I couldn't stop doing it. You know, I live to eat and I eat to live.
So were there any time when you would eat and just stick your hand and vomit and eat again, or
No.
you didn't?
No.
You just kept it down.
Yeah, just keep it down, and because it used to taste good. It's the best feeling I had in my life. You know, it's like
It's a
the
kind of
tea-
self-soothing.
yeah, you know, and
Makes
I
you
just
feel.
So you crave for comfort food.
yeah.
because you weren't getting that love from society,
Yeah,
from home,
from
and
home, yeah.
and how did you relate to the other sex, the opposite sex? Did you have any relationships growing up with any, like a little boyfriend in school now, that
But
kind of
that's it, nobody want the fat girl. That hope, no, but I being honest, it's like, nah, boy, she real fat boy. So it used to toll on man, I used to live through the TV, just any movie, just sit down and just daydreaming and picturing me in that situation, and that's how I used to get by in life. Games, you talk about it, I was addicted to games. You give me, I remember when PlayStation 2 God of War came out, take me 1 week and I beat out that whole game, day and night, I binge it until I finish it. It's just, I choose anything but reality. So
schoolwork, how did it affect your schoolwork?
It did affect my schoolwork a lot. I did pass, but it was hard. I didn't have no help, and I didn't know how to ask for help. So I used to just try my best, put my head down, and just sometimes I just get by. I don't know how, but I get by. Yeah.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and in studio with us is Shalama, who's telling her story, and it only gets worse from there. I could guarantee you. The nice side of it is that she has the receipts, because we looked at the pictures, and I could only dream about what 500 pounds feels like. I cannot, for the life of me.
Were there any health complications as a result of your weight?
Size?
Yeah.
Praise and thank God, no.
But the
And
eating, and you never had any.
I just keep eating, and they keep checking me, and for sugar, for pressure, and nothing. I didn't have no sickness. All I have now is the CSF leak.
And you'll explain what that is.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so at what so you spoke about so after school.
Yeah.
And when school was done, now you're home. How was life then?
Right.
For you?
So I end up going and do a trade, welding, and I met my common law husband. He was there. The first words to me, "Hey, fat girl, give me a cigarette."
Fat girl.
Yeah, hey, fat girl, give me a cigarette. I just tell everybody, that was the first words to me. But he wasn't ashamed to be around me. He kind of make me feel good, so I latch on to him. That was my first in everything.
So apart from your father, is the first man who's really showing you
Yeah.
attention and love, right?
Yeah, but this is,
Yeah.
and in my mind, I thought I couldn't have children because I had hormone imbalance, hence the size also. 1 year time I get pregnant, so I didn't really have a long relationship with him. In a few months, I had my father nick us through the Muslim religion, and we moved into our apartment. My father have apartment, so he gave me one of the apartment. I had a mattress on the ground, a box with my clothes, and a box TV, and that's how my life started.
Let's go back a bit. You spoke about your house being a free-for-all, an open sepulchre sort of thing.
Yeah.
Why did you feel the need to do that? Was it
To have company,
right?
to have a friend, but they never see. They used to use the fact that I have a place everybody could come and do things. Yeah. So, just having company, I didn't mind what they do. I didn't care. My father used to tell me about it, but I never listened because he not there. So I'd still do what I wanted.
And they brought their stuff,
Yeah,
their alcohol.
they brought their alcohol, they brought their cigarettes, and I partaked in it. And as I say, everybody will get wasted. I remember days when I overdid it and being blacked out. Can't remember what happened. My brother used to take care of me. I used to give him trouble. I used to sneak out, go online with my friends and them, come home next day. Sometimes my father worried. He don't know what happened to me. You know, as I say, he had an apartment, so the people that rent there is older people. And because of my size, I could have go and sneak out and go to the clubs. And because I'm willing, I used to go with whoever can remember. I never used to study danger and what could happen.
So you were just happy for the attention. You
Yes,
just happy
I just crave the attention. And no matter what, I would gravitate to whoever given it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So and that now that's sort of left you vulnerable, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you see, as I said, I lived through the TV. So when I use alcohol, I could have come out of my shell and be the dancing, free spirit person in my head. You know, that's the drugs was my superpower because I didn't have self-confidence. I didn't have appreciation for myself. I didn't care.
I hope people listening and understanding why I'm painting this, trying to paint this picture here, because of the children growing up with low self-esteem. And just Thursday, I had an online session with some parents, and I was letting them know the same thing, that growing up your child with low self-esteem and not making them, that can have long-term effects on them.
Rippling effects.
And it'll be easy for them to be influenced, about the peer pressure, right?
Yeah. It does, because, as I said, the little attention I get from just allowing people to come and use, I hold on to that like that was life. I didn't see the beauty in it, because, as I say, I was big, and then going to family members' house, you know, how family is. Hey, anytime I see you again, Mega, you know, all them things had a toll on me, keep me in my shell and just not wanting to talk or relate with anybody. But using is what made me feel good. Thinking back, you know, the kind of dangerous situations I ended up in, you know, being passed out by one of my boyfriend house. Can't remember what happened next day, you know, but I wasn't raped or anything. Praise thank God, my size blocked that. Well, I'm being honest.
Well, I understand you mean. So you, one thing you weren't worried about getting kidnapped then?
Yeah, I wasn't. I wasn't. I just happy to go along for the ride and enjoy life.
You know, it's always it's always good to be able to laugh at yourself.
If I don't laugh, I will be crying all day.
So you didn't worry about these things?
I didn't worry. As I say, I was suicidal. I was just afraid to do it though. You know, but in my mind, I always contemplated suicide. I always, you know, study how the afterlife could be. You know, I just...
Why suicide? Why
because I didn't like how people used to treat me. So the people who know me know the fun loving me because I could have be free. But the public will know who I am because I will, as I say, I will walk in the room and try to be invisible, but the eyes will see what they see, and that was my biggest thing. And I was really bullied in school, from primary school straight up to COVID time, being bullied for looking like a Spanish.
What?
Yeah, man. I was walking with one of my white friends. Well, we have on mask. This man had a dog on the corner. He was holding his dog and started shook his dog on there. Yeah, you know, like, and the dog started to rush me, and I was like, what the hell? But when
Just so for no reason?
Yeah, when I started ball Yankee, when I started talk Yankee to him, is then he realized, hey, nah, she's a trainee. But as I said, bullying was something I went through. I learned to laugh at it in school. I learned to be the class clown so I could laugh with people too. You know, so people from school who will remember me like, yeah, she used to make jokes, something. I'm making jokes because I want to feel anything but the disgust I felt for myself. As I said, I didn't love myself. My journey to weight loss only happened when I made my first daughter. You know, that she was in standard 5. And no, she was in second year, my bad. She was young. And I went to a parent-teacher meeting. She was 5 years, and I now had my second daughter. And I walk in, I was big. You know, I still see myself fat because it instilled in me. I walk into the classroom, I see the children watching me. You know, you're accustomed with the eyes. And this little boy was snickering and telling somebody something, but I learned to block it because this is what I grew up with. So my daughter come home from school that day, and she's like, Mommy, you know this little boy saying, oh, look how fat your mother is. She said, but don't worry, I love you just the way you are. My heart break. I felt like crap. I went in the back. The first thing I do was I put a cigarette in my mouth, and I started smoke, and I like something broke that day. You know, it was a change, but still I had to go to rehab because I still did it myself. But when they started to bully her for me, I made a promise to myself. I said, when my daughter walk into a bigger school, Form 1, I must be somebody she would be proud of. Although she already said, Mommy, I love you just how you are. You know, it gave me the drive. It gave me the motive to keep pushing. It was hard. It's not easy. I remember my first diet trying to lose weight, and I lose 20 pounds, and I was so excited, and I went to my husband and I was like, hey, you know, I lose 20 pounds. He's like, yeah, well, yeah, I lose 20 more. I just feel defeated. I like, way boy, and I just start back to eat. And I like, because the self-love didn't reach. You know, I was trying, but that little slip threw me back down. I did pick back up and start, you know, I made up my mind, and I was like, nah, I can't keep living like this. I can't keep living like this. I have to do better, because I always wanted a mother. And, you know, being in recovery, I am alive, and my children grew up without a mother. I was there, but not there. You know, the drugs had me, you know, just in a loop. In my mind, it's like, I washing, I cooking, I cleaning, I dropping them to school, but I wasn't giving them what I was lacking. I didn't know how to give them that.
Because nobody showed you.
Nobody showed me, you know, and God with me. I had to put God before everything else, because my children rocking it today. My big daughter rocking it. My little daughter on the way there too. You know, they see me at my worst, and know the well proud they are. I just cry when my big daughter talk to me, and she's like, Mommy, I love you, and look how much you come, look how far you come in this life. You know, they are my biggest support system. Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry I missed part of the conversation, but I just having this thought about how we as a society treat with people who are overweight or obese, as we would say, and the kind of discrimination that we have against them. We feel like it's almost like addiction. It's a moral deficiency, because nobody's sending you to eat all of that. You know, you must have some kind of health problems if you're that fat. You have no reason to be that fat. You know, and those things obviously would affect the individual in terms of how they see themselves in the world. You know, do I really have a place? If it is that I am this taking up this space in the world, how worthy am I, you know, to be here? And that obviously would lead to your thoughts of suicide and those kind of things.
Because it's like, why am I here? The feelings is something that kept me in addiction. You know, when I drink till I have to get blackout. You know, it's like a car stop. Everybody will be like, all right, now they're done. I still go in. I remember when marijuana came into my life, in 2019, I started to smoke marijuana. That's a dark era in my life, but my rock bottom wasn't like everybody else one. My rock bottom came at I was the smallest I ever was. I am a spin instructor certified, but I lost that opportunity because of my marijuana use and because of overusing and going through psychosis and now getting through with the job. I tell you, I train hard and I'm working and I get it, I get the position, and I lost it.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency. We're going to take a break because I want Shalama to take us through that psychosis part of her journey. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a problem. We have a problem in our society, and I am getting worried. No, I mean, after 24 years of doing Dependency, I am now having, Natasha and I are now having an understanding on how bad it is and how bad it's going to get if we don't all work as a team together. I'll leave you with this before we go to the break. Listening to Shalama here, I listened to another mother yesterday who, we advised on Dependency very early to buy drug test kits. Go a drugstore, buy a drug test kit and test your child. If your child refuses, then you have a red flag. If they do it willingly, then, they can still have a conversation with them. Well, check this. Kappa Drugs, Bagans, Superfarm, everyone has sold out their drug test kits. All sold out. I'll leave that with you. After this break, we'll continue. And of course, like I said, Shalama will work with receipts. You will see what a 500-pound person look like in a while. All right, so, and how drastically she dropped the weight. This is really good. She managed to pull herself out of it. Let's go to that break. We'll be back.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Dobson here from HMP London. Can I speak to Mr. James, please?
This is Mr. James speaking.
Thank you. Can you hold the line? I have a call coming through to you, sir.
Sure.
Hello, Daddy.
Hello, yes, Brian?
Daddy, I'm just calling to tell you that I'm locked up in the UK for drug trafficking.
Oh, yeah? You lock up? And you tell me I was going to Bago? And I tell you about them boy I was liming with? Well, all right. Don't drop the soap. Carry on.
On Dependency, reality radio at its best every Sunday on I-95.5 FM.
Join us this Sunday for episode 41 of On Dependency, where every life is a biography.
Some people become addicted to a substance or activity out of curiosity or even predisposition. But then there are poly addicts. Meet Shalama.
Smoked cigarettes from 11 years and alcohol started from 13.
But that was just the beginning. Her marijuana use triggered psychosis.
I was hallucinating, I was hearing voices. I ended up in Ward 1.
And if that wasn't enough, her addiction to food was another battle she had to face.
I was really big, close to 500 pounds when I started my diet.
Today, Shalama is no longer trapped in that cycle. She is now an addictions counselor at the new Life Ministries Rehabilitation Centre for Women. Listen live this Sunday from 10 a.m. on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the On Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. The Counter-Trafficking Unit Ministry of Homeland Security brings you On Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
Thank you very much for staying with us. This is On Dependency, and today our guest is Shalama. She is the latest in our series that we're doing with women in recovery, and she has a unique story that involves a food addiction, if you could believe that. Yes, that is possible. Um, and God said He wanted to just to talk back to that incident that you had, where your daughter was kind of bullied because of her relationship to you, and how that influenced you and motivated you to start losing the weight. Now, how did you how did you start? Because I mean, where do you even start to plan how to lose weight? What did you think
Well,
about?
I started my journey for weight loss by walking.
Okay.
So I used to get up bright and early, like about, say, maybe 5 o'clock when place dust dark, and walk. And, you know, I started to feel good. That little sweat, that little vibrant feeling make me feel good. Then, bullying happened again. Taxi driver, right in the settlement, no matter my whole life, stop and say, "Oh, I walk, you're walking and you're losing no weight." And it's like, why can't I get a break? Why? You know, but
They see you trying. It's like how when you see bigger persons in the gym, people will watch that and say, "But what's she doing here?" Or what he doing here? We're like this is exactly what
this is what here is made
exactly.
for. Right, but that is where my love for music came in. So
Okay.
I started to get headphones, put on music, and just walk in the road. I did that for a year.
Okay.
When I went up on a scale, was close to 500 pounds. I don't know how much I used to really weigh,
Right.
but I know I lose 100 pounds before I reach in that gym. Because after losing the first 100, I started to get a little more self-esteem. I started to feel good. And I used to go in the gym and go on the treadmill, still walking. And people used to come along, see me trying hard. Now in the gym, it had people gravitated to me and was like, "Hey, you know, you should try this." It took me a little while because, you know, I wasn't open to people, but then I was like, "Yeah, let me try this." Somebody introduced me to Zumba. Well, oh my God, that was a life experience there. I used to go, don't know the moves, but just had to wind my waist and everybody started to cheer me on. You know, it's like, I started to feel good. I find my place now.
Hold on a second. So, man, we're getting some messages that the feedback has restarted.
Started back. Or the echo. Is it on the
The
radio or online?
Those of you who listen could tell us where you're hearing it, if it's on Facebook, YouTube, or on radio. All right, go ahead. Yeah, Shalama. Sorry about that,
No.
Shalama.
Yeah, well, so
you're in the gym, you're working out, you're doing your Zumba and stuff.
yeah,
And
So-
feeling
good.
I understand it's
good.
radio.
Yeah.
Radio.
Radio.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, so you started. I don't know if I missed that first part, but what actually motivated you to finally? You spoke about the daughter getting bullied.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Right.
So I was asking her, like, how, where did she even start?
Yeah.
Like, how do you start as somebody with that amount of weight to lose? Where do you start, really? And she said she
Walking.
started walking.
Just walking in the road.
Mm-hmm.
Just walking. Now I just run 5K. I did a 15K the other day.
Papa.
But I
see?
started by walking and lost my first 100 pounds. And then reach in the gym. And that is where I started to meet people along the way. On this journey, I got so much help. So much people came and be like, you know, intermittent fasting, ketogenic diet, low carbs. People started to advise me, and I started to do my own research. So thank God for the internet. You know, I went up, I looked, I researched. I was like, yes, I could do this. Yes, I could do this. And I did started. Everything that I did was music though. The Zumba. If I'm working out with the weights, I have headphones in my ears. Other than that, I have the company of people who gravitated to me. So people saw me trying, and that is the break where helped me to lose the weight. The little motivation, the support system, that is what keeps me in recovery. The people that surrounded by me. And one of my aunts, she came in. I was overweight when I went on a spin bike. You know, in the spin room. People just said that they didn't even know it have a weight limit for that. I used to be in the back of the class not knowing that, hey, you're overweight for this. And be trying my best and my head down. quiet, me making no noise.
Maybe a weight limit to be
On the
because
bike?
of the bike.
Yeah, is the maximum is 300 pounds.
Oh,
I was
right.
overweight.
You
but
were heavier than that at the
yeah,
time.
I didn't. But people didn't know that. But as I say, I was in the back. I used to put my head down and pretend I invisible. That was me. I used to just, I want to be in the action, but the fear and the abuse I went through had me trapped and had me introverted. Is finding myself. People is always saying, oh, hey, I just hear she before I see she. No, I just make an announcement when I come in the room because I love me.
So did you have an issue like when you had to travel, like go downtown or even go to
right.
Bago?
So
You ever went to Bago?
when I was young, but
But on the plane or boat?
I went Canada on a plane.
Okay.
And the first time I went Canada, I had to get a seat extension, and that was heartbreaking because my husband small, and I let him ask for it. Obviously, they know it's me, but I don't have the confidence to say, hey, I need something to extend. He asks, and that is how I get it.
Right.
The second time, when I did travel, it could have clipped. So all these things helped me to stay motivated to lose the weight.
How you dealt with going downtown now when you had to?
Just to do my business and get out of it fast. Because as I say, I learned to read eyes. So I will watch in a room, see the eyes watching me, and just try to, just try to hurry up and do whatever it is I'm doing just to get out of it. I used to hire a whole a whole car first. Just to not be in anything. And taxi drivers used to say, hey, you go damage my shocks, I ain't taking you up. People just tell you as it is.
Yeah.
It's like you check somebody else, you can't come in my car, you go bust my shocks.
What?
I telling you, this is what I grew up with. And all these things.
Jesus.
Yeah.
People could be so cruel in this place, boy.
They are. And
Wow.
this is why I just tell everybody, if you could be anything in this world, be kind. You don't know what it is somebody going through. But
How did you feel when somebody tell you that, girl?
I used to feel embarrassed. I used to feel like hell, but it used to hit me worse. Like if somebody I love with me, like if my children was there, Yeah, I remember a time my brother took me out, and my first daughter, I think she was 2 years, so I had to go to the washroom to change her. And coming down the step, this guy stand up. I know I can't pass there. I know I beg. I was like, excuse sir, can I pass? He do like here, man. I do, and I pass, and I just touch the man. Oh, you're dead with heart attack. Why you bouncing? I said, but my brother gets so upset. He wanted to attack this man. I said, relax, let me go. So I just never used to want to be anywhere. I never buy clothes for myself. My husband, he take over the job of what my father used to do, shelter man. Go and get the clothes, and I should just be home. I never used to like to go out. As I said, I lived through the TV. I used to sit down and just be in la la land. That's what I call it. Just anything to feel good. That's where the addiction with the food, because when you're home, when I was home, it's like that's all it had, I would cook, I would eat, and just binge there. That was what felt good. The taste of the food, because society was harsh.
Cruel, yes.
Are we frozen on Facebook?
On Facebook, no. No.
Okay, I'll listen. Yes, if you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and we are taking this journey with Shalama here. I can just imagine how it feels to hear a taxi, and they will tell you that loud, eh?
Yeah.
And they'll let you know, you go bust my shop.
The amount of shame I feel, I tell you, it's like, wow. All that had me thinking, God, where am I here for? What is my purpose? I used to be like, why me? Why? And it was hard. I tell you,
Did you ever cry?
Plenty. It happened whole night I crying, because it's like, especially if my children had to be involved and they hear anything, it just, I would lie down on the bed and just be crying and can't sleep and just don't know what to do. You know, it was just like a dark hole. I keep going deeper and deeper in.
Now, how many times a day would you eat?
I used to eat a lot. I used to eat like about 4 sandwiches in the morning, snacks in between, lunchtime, a whole heap of rice, and you know, it's like throughout the day I eating whole day I eating, and you know, that was. But I never used to eat around people. Even my husband didn't know how much I eating because I would eat with him, and then when he go, I go hide and go to the kitchen and see what else I could stuff down in my throat, you know.
So that, Natasha, remember, I told people about too, if you're addicted to food, what happens. So that is just as with cocaine or alcohol, you know, that dopamine continue to flow even after you finish eat. You still want to eat more.
Yes. But I never used to feel full.
Right.
I could eat. I remember going to all you could eat buffet in Canada. Oh my God. Oh, that was a day I proved myself that way.
You could really?
I could really. But it's about 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 times I cleared on not little plates, big plates, because we had a big section, a whole lot of us went. So we pick up a whole entire spot. So nobody really paying attention who doing what, and we just go in and making we name.
And nobody didn't tell you anything.
Yeah, nobody didn't tell me anything.
Right.
And I didn't even know how much I was eating. I just keep doing it.
And the food would always taste good, no matter how many times.
No matter what, it is like. I could feel like if I'm home, I might feel guilty for doing it, but cannot stop myself because the negative thoughts used to consume everything. And you know, I would just, especially if I sit down in front of the TV eating, it's like, wait, nah, the food done, where the food gone? And I had to go get more because it's like I thought I was eating, but unconscious, watching the TV, being in a lost space, I just finish
everything in the house.
So let's take this journey now with the psychosis, because we want parents out there to understand. And you heard me a while ago speak about the selling out of drug test kits in Trinidad and Tobago. I never thought that would have been a thing. And a drugstore wouldn't buy 10 drug test kits. They'll buy a couple hundred, right? You have it in stock and then people will come up. But I was shocked. Now, there are young people in this country here who are popping pills and they are going through psychotic episodes. A lot of them. And Trinidad and Tobago, we reached a place where now young people are snorting cocaine. You can actually buy cocaine to snort on the streets. And let me let you know right away, that is crap that these young people are putting in their system, because cocaine to snort, very expensive. And the man on the street some time ago could not even afford that. Now they can. We have a problem. For you, Shalama, when did your first episode, or when that happened, when you started using marijuana?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So, when in 2019 I started to use marijuana, after my father passed away, is when I started to abuse the marijuana. So, that I used to smoke. I can't even say how much I used to smoke.
How did you get it in the first place?
Buy it.
Okay.
Yeah. My husband, he working, so he used to give me money. And I would just buy. We smoked together. He used to smoke.
Right.
Yeah. So we would smoke together. I used to envision myself when I old and grey, rocking in a rocking chair, have a big blunt in my mouth, you know, living that kind of life. That I always, you know, the marijuana helped me to go in la la land a little better than on a normal head. So I would smoke and get high and just sit down and daydream and just dream about doing this and dream about doing that. I will go out with my family, drink whole night, whole night with everybody and still had to come home and use marijuana. I didn't know how bad my use was. I used to smoke before I go to pick up the children from school. I driving under the influence. That was the most dangerous thing I ever did. You know, that putting children life at risk. You know, and the thing about it is I had my brother children with me also. You know, so, and they're younger. And after my 2 C-section, I did 2 C-section. I can't have any more. I have adhesions inside. So it's me, the child, or 2 of us. So I just still didn't care. The depression I was under is only through medicine I am stable today. The psychosis took place.
You smoked when you were pregnant?
Yeah.
During your pregnancy, you
Cigarettes.
smoked? And cigarettes.
Cigarettes, I drink alcohol. Yeah, I did use when maybe the last month, maybe I stopped and I tried to convince myself, you know, but I did use through the pregnancy.
So chances are one or 2 of your children could
my
be.
second daughter, she born with jaundice. She born with a bump on her head, blood clot. She had to stay in the hospital, 2 clinics for over 2-3 years.
Right.
You know, she gets sick very easily.
Right, so we'll get to that in a while. So tell us about the first smoke that you took and then the journey from there. What happened?
Okay, so the first smoke I took, well, I did dabble in it when I was younger.
Right.
But it wasn't for me. I know it wasn't for me because I get so high. I was 16 when I had marijuana the first time, and was by a friend's house. They had to help carry me down by where they live in. I fall down on a mattress and I sleep for 8 hours straight. Get up and drink out a jug of juice. And the thing is, I'm not in my house, but I just treat it like my house. I just get up and take the people juice from the fridge and drink out the whole jug. Because I didn't know what I'm doing, but I said, nah, I stopped using. But in 2019, as I say, when my father passed away, I needed something stronger. The alcohol wasn't doing it. The food, I started the weight loss journey, so I was losing the weight and I feeling good, but I wanted to feel better. You know, I love my father. You know, I love him so much that I couldn't even tell him because we didn't know how to express it. So when he passed away, I just abusing the drugs, abusing it. And I remember I was overdoing it. I ate edibles, didn't wait for the edibles to kick in, so I just light up a spliff. I knew I was smoking a pack a day, pack a cigarette a day. If I drinking, it's 2 pack. All I remember, something happened. I black out and wake up, and I had marks on my neck. Up to now, the blood stain on my daughter's door still, because I kind of keep it as a remembrance. It has splash of blood because I fall and I hit the window, I break the glass, and I don't know where I was going. This is what I say, the effects of the marijuana. I can't remember certain things.
So you had edibles and a joint?
Yeah. I didn't wait for the edibles to kick in.
Right.
So I just light the blunt to get the high. And blackout. I had to say blackout because I didn't know what happened. All I know, I get up on my bed. This whole thing here had blood. I confused, but I used to watch a lot of horrors. So I thinking, you know, I don't know. I didn't have no rash thinking. Marijuana just had me living in a daze. Continue smoking, continue, you know, just abusing the drugs, end up carrying my daughter to the dentist and get a seizure. Get up, fall down, hit the ground, this whole eyebrow here split open. My daughter traumatized. I want to know. I just ask you about it, so I don't know. She does try to tell me, but it's hard for she because it's your mother on the ground, a pool of blood, and we was by the dentist, so it's white tiles, white wall, and you only see, and she say I was reaching out for she, so I can't remember that. And all this is a part of me using drugs. End up waking up in the hospital in Pampers. I remember the day with the thing, when I bust open my head, I get up, put on somebody's slippers. When I watch down, I have on a big Pampers. I was like, where am I? I lost. Where what I doing here? He's like, hey, my husband come here, take my carry me back in the bed. He's like, listen, they don't know what happened to you. You know, they end up carrying me to, so it's Princestown I was in, Princestown Hospital. Then they transfer me to San Fernando Hospital. They didn't see nothing wrong. They do the tests, nothing wrong. Send me home. So my brother now was like, something wrong. Something wrong.
So nobody asked whether you had ingested any substances?
No.
Nobody didn't ask that?
Yeah, because, as I say, it is...
So in the hospital, nobody asked that?
I can't remember. I was high. All I know, they say nothing
nothing physically wrong with you,
me,
per se.
Per se.
Just
They know I smoke the weed.
Mm-hmm.
So they say that the marijuana do that. As I say, my brother was questioning it, and he's like, listen, go by a doctor. So I went Southern Medical, ended up seeing a neurosurgeon, and I did an MRI, and they say I get the leak on the left side, a CSF leak. So the CSF leak is the membranes, the liquid around the brains, go down the spine. That membrane's leaking from my left side. So it used to come through my nose, right? Like, glop, glop, look like water, exactly. So how I gonna tell the doctor, hey, water coming up my nose? I thinking them gonna say I stupid, you know? But the MRI shows something. I had to be on medicine. So in my mind, I don't want to be on medicine. So that make me smoke more. So I used to just use the weed and not use the medicine they give, and continuously start to get seizures. I still am on seizure medication because it's only 2 years that I am, 2 years, 16 days today, that I take my recovery and my life serious. You know, so finding out that I could drop down and dead any moment kind of shake me. You know, it make me just be like, to hell with it. Let me just sit down and smoke my life away. I get a glimmer of hope when my friends was pushing me towards being an instructor for the spin indoor cycling. You know, so I work hard for that. I try my best, and I got certified. But I was not happy. I was small as ever was. I was getting through with the job. The manager, through my friends, was willing to take the chance with me. But something wasn't clicking, and, you know, I used to rush to do everything to go back home to smoke. No matter what it is, I had to. It's like that was the only thing on my mind. Do this and then go home to get my buzz. I remember just blacking out, locking the children in the house, driving to my friend's house. From one friend to the other, 3 hours of my life gone missing that I can't say, and nobody can say where I was, what I do in between that 3 hours. I could have killed somebody and not know. And that is when the psychosis hit. And my family took me to the hospital because they didn't know what to do. I was not making any sense. I was just walking out in the road crazy, like, where's she going? I don't even know where I'm going. And I give trouble. When I went, the nurse and them, you know, they was trying to be nice and polite, but I started to act out. I started to hold. I want to beat people. One of the doctors, I hold down she hand, I bruise she hand. That's when they end up strapping me on a bed. When they strap me on a bed, they hit me with some medicine. But the amount of drugs I have, the medicine didn't work. My system was so drugged that my body get paralyzed, but my mind was awake because the drugs was affecting something in my head. You know, that that is how my psychosis starts.
Shalama, let's take a break, and I want people to absorb this for a minute, and then we come back and we talk about this psychosis itself, because we see people on the streets speaking to themselves.
Yeah.
We see people arguing with themselves on the streets. Sometimes I would see our friend Natasha Sketch quarreling with someone in front of him, and you're not seeing anybody, but he's quarreling with somebody, and a healthy argument too, because he's pointing on the gun and walking off and coming back and elaborating on the point. Let's take people through that. Let's go to this break, and when we return, we'll continue with this interesting journey with Shalama. Stay right there, we'll be back.
Hello.
Hi, this is Patricia Kent from HMP London. Can I speak to Miss Sheila, please?
This is Miss Sheila.
Hi, I've got an important call for you. Please hold the line.
Mommy, it's Sherry. Oh God, Sherry, we looking for you all the time. 3 weeks now. Where you going?
Mommy, according to tell you, I get locked up. I had drugs in my luggage and I'm in England right now. In jail.
Oh God, Sherry, what? What you do? How you reach there? Oh God, how we gonna do?
Oh God, Mommy, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. It'll be alright. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Eye on Dependency. Reality radio at its best every Sunday on I 95.5 FM. Don't.
Hello, my name is Raquel, a trainee inmate at HMP Drake Hall, Staffordshire, England, and you're listening to Eye on Dependency with Garth and Natasha. Please, people, don't traffic drugs. The money is all that nice. It's not worth it.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Eye on Dependency, and we are talking with another woman in recovery. This is Shalama, and she has been sharing her journey with addiction to various substances, including food. And now we're talking about her marijuana use and how it led to a psychotic episode that she had to be hospitalized for. And we I think what Garth is trying to get at is to understand the psychosis from somebody who's experienced it, so that if we see any of these behaviors or thought patterns in our loved ones, in ourselves or our loved ones, we'll know what it feels like. So when you ended up in the hospital, you had smoked before
well,
that
I had
happened.
the edibles and I smoked.
Right.
I smoked a joint because I couldn't wait for the edibles to kick in. So when it did kick in, it kicked psychosis in. So going to the hospital, as I walk in, it just felt like everybody was staring me down. And all the negative thoughts I ever had in my head, it projected on others. It felt like they were telling me, why you so fat? What are you doing here? It just felt like everybody was attacking me. Everybody was watching me down and judging me. And I didn't know how to process that. And I started to act out. I started to rebel and wanted to attack people because my anger issue was big, that when I did explode, my mouth was not easy.
Right.
Is Yankee Doodle, we go call it. We can't say the real words.
Yes.
Yeah, I just was.
But did you recognize like members of your family, or did you see them as
off and on? Yeah, so it's like I will make out my daughter and then I'll take her. I remember trying to take the little one to walk in the road with me. I don't know where I was going. She started to get afraid, and then my brother come and take she, and in my mind is why they're trying to take my children from me. Not knowing that what I was going through was something that was so horrible.
Yeah, dangerous.
That keeps me sober today, though. Because to me, experiencing that, I was screaming on the top of my lungs for God knows what. And I have a big, loud voice. And all I remember is screaming. And Nobody know what I was screaming for. I can't remember what it was I was screaming for. I had a voice in my head, you know. Normally, if I thinking, I would know I'm thinking. I had a voice talking to me in my head. You know, it's like I talking to this and it talking back to me. This was.
And what was the voice telling you?
That I am Jesus. I'm being honest. I swear I was Jesus, and I come on this earth because remember I always thought I have no place here. I thought that, you know, this is something I never really tell anybody too, you know, because it is crazy.
You were Jesus?
Yeah. You know, I thought I was Jesus. I thought you know.
And you see, this is why society don't take people seriously.
Yes.
Because they would laugh at
Tamika.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, Mike.
Sorry. Yes, this is why society won't take people who go into these episodes seriously.
Yeah.
Because they think, oh yeah, okay, right, that is it. Books closed, they use Jesus.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear you after that.
I know, I tell you, this is the first time I'm talking about it.
Wow.
It is something that bring back the memories. Talking about it bring back the memories.
Hang on a second. Somebody's saying they're getting a reverb again. Shortman, could you monitor that on, Jackie, is it on radio or Facebook or YouTube? Let us know, please. Yeah, so when you said that, how people, did you tell anybody?
No, I didn't. This is the voices I was asking her. She said she was hearing your voices,
Right.
and the voices were telling her that she's Jesus.
Yeah. And I remember my daughter was home, my big daughter was home from school, and I was going through an episode, and this one came back to my head, and I was lie down on the chair, and she and my niece came because they know something wrong with me, and in my mind I think in my father and my mother in them, in my daughter and my niece. I think in my parents in body in them, like they at all this. And they tell me it's okay, it's all right. And in my mind, I thinking this is my mother and my father, and not knowing that this is my child and my niece. You know, so it's like my whole sense of reality gone. Reality and fiction merged together. So it's like, in my mind, it was making sense, but to everybody around me is like, something wrong. She not making any sense. I will start to talk A and end up in Z. So it's like everybody confused, but I having conversation and thinking is you I talking to, but is myself I am having a conversation with.
How long did you spend in the hospital?
So in the hospital they end up putting me in Ward 1. That was a very scary situation.
How did they come and pick you up, or how did you end up in Ward 1?
Right, so my family end up, when I started to walk the road, like I was just walking. I remember opening the gate and just walking. My husband had to get the car and driving. He's like, where you going? Where you going? Come, I'll carry you. I was like, no, I will go. I walk in, I will go. They end up convincing me through the breaks in rash thinking and imaginary world. I get in the car. My brother, my husband, and my best friend at the time. Well, no, my best friend. She we need to carry her. We need to carry she to the hospital. Something wrong. While they carry me, I remember putting my hand out to open the door, and my brother drive the roll up the window, so my hand stick, and it was tight, and I telling them Lego man, but I was acting out, so they didn't want to release my hand.
Right.
And I go to hit my brother, right, and reality kick in again, and I was like, oh, this is my brother. You know, I see my friend sit down next to me, I take up she hand, and I was like, oh, she real. Because in my mind, it's like, a dreaming. I wasn't even feeling the pain that much, because it's like my sense of touch, my sense of feeling, everything was going. It's like a light switch on and off. So it's like I come into life but I shut it back down in a different reality, you know. I didn't know what was real and what wasn't real. When we landed in the hospital and going through the process where I was assuming everybody after me, everybody don't like me, nobody don't like me, you know, everybody have their thoughts, but what I come to realize, the negative thoughts I had in my head is what I saw the people saying to me, and that is what make me rebel and behave aggressive. That is when they put me in Ward 1, and you know, in Ward 1 it have things about bipolar and schizophrenia, and in my mind I bipolar. I making up all these things in my head now. I walk in watching the nurse them cut eye and nobody paying attention to me, and I trying to walk out the place just so, and it's like, hey, I see you now, you can't go nowhere, go back. So I remember one of the other clients in the one of the other patients in Ward 1 take my clothes, and I didn't do anything about it. I frightened to say anything. It was scary in there, you know. Just I went to bed in the bathroom, and one of the clients come and stand up and watch me. I am very self-conscious, and you know that I break down. I didn't know what to do.
Female client?
Yeah, well, they had females together.
Right, yeah.
And there's a lockwe in the dorm where the room is. It had 2 cells. One of the lady, the first night I went in, she was in a cell and only screaming all night.
A cell?
Yeah, what I remember is like it looked like a cell. People who give in trouble like this, put them there
to
Lord. Cool out, detox, whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
And did you ask yourself, did you question what you do?
Any moments of clarity?
I did, yeah. I'm making clarity and telling myself I bipolar or I schizophrenic because this is the plaques I see on the wall, and I diagnosing myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Iron Dependency, and we are speaking with Shalama Rahman, and she's giving. There's so many things to unpack here. You know, but I won't interrupt you. Just tell us about that. For those of you listening, the Ward 1 is in San Fernando, is the psychiatric ward, right? So and how many of you were in there?
At the time, it had about 6 or 7 of us, and I wasn't really talking to anybody. I was just in my own zone. As I say, one of the clients take my clothes because I am a pushover without the drugs and coming out of the
So
high.
the person just came by your bed space and take up your clothes?
Yeah. Started put it on too, and she wearing my jacket. I like, what's this? But me, I said nothing. I just sit down and I cry, and I like, what are you doing here? And it was during COVID time, so you know it limited visitation. One at a time, so it's not like I could have seen my family. I couldn't see my children. I think I stayed 2 weeks in there, but it felt like 3 months. That 2 weeks felt like 3 months. It's like, I don't know if it was the high or what. It just felt like it prolonged, and it was horrible.
Now take us a day. What a day is like. You wake up or you are awakened, and
right. So you get up.
Right.
You go to the shower. It do afterwards. So the one all I remember, it didn't have doors. As I say, I was in the drug state, so it blurred. My memories blurred because imaginary and reality merged. So it's still hard to tell what real from what real. If that makes any sense. Yeah. It's like it's hard to process. I remember it have a TV, but I wasn't watching it because I don't know what was going on. I couldn't process nothing. They give us books. I took up one of the book and I was reading. Started to make up all kind of things in my mind. Put down the book because I started to get frightened. I was like, every little thing that I see and I read, as I say, the things on the wall about schizophrenia and bipolar, I don't sort of imagine this is what happened, because I was searching for me. I always know something wrong, you know, because I never felt good. It's like something wrong with me. I went searching for help, you know, is something. I used to always say I'm addicted, but not knowing what addiction was.
Was this experience, you think, was it the turning point for you to seek help, professional help and treatment for your addictions?
Not yet. The crazy part about it, after the 2 weeks, I come back out and started smoke like normal.
Because this was what I was about to ask you. Now, when I ask what a day is like, is there any point in time in the day that somebody will come and sit with you and say, look, this is what we tested you for, this is what we discovered? No. Nothing like that?
No, because I couldn't process anything. Maybe they did, but I can't remember.
So it's basic.
I was just basically sitting down and floating by the day.
So
and that's how I lived my life, though. I just existed. I wasn't living, I was just existing, floating by everything. Not really paying attention, not really caring. Today, Monday could fall on Friday. I didn't care.
So let me ask this. And this is where I always talk about working together. Entities and agencies in Trinidad and Tobago working together, right? This is how Matthew, the guy from Friends, Matthew Perry?
Yes.
Right. This is how the person who sold him drugs was charged.
Yeah.
And two other people, them waiting to go to prison right now. Now, what the police will do, they will get a report from the doctors. And this person ended up dying because of ingesting this drug. Did anybody ask you where you got your drugs from?
No.
Did they take any information or anything like that? Because
it wasn't making sense.
Okay, but then isn't this type of research necessary? So suppose somebody selling a bad batch of drugs out there and people, you know, getting caught up in it and suffering going through psychosis because of it. We don't know.
And I was growing my own thing home too.
Right, well, you were growing your own thing home.
There you go.
But
and I don't feel like people treat cannabis in the same way that they would treat a drug like cocaine or ketamine.
But
in the sense that everybody reacts differently to it, and because she had been using it for so long,
right,
and this is just one psychotic break. I don't
Right.
think they would point to marijuana specifically as the cause.
She wouldn't be the only one.
No.
I'm sure there are a number of people who went to St. Anne's, Ward 1, after ingesting crack cocaine, ecstasy, molly, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
How are we testing these people, and are we tracing where they're getting the drugs from so we could go and get rid of this pusher who's pushing a bad batch of drugs? Thank you. This is my point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now let us go to family now. We talk about predisposition. In your mind, any member of your family had mental health issues, or mental ill health during your as far as you could remember?
Well, as I say, my father went through a depression.
Right.
So that it stemmed there. I do have addiction in my family. It have certain family members who have addiction also. So.
And any of them ever had any
no.
psychosis or anything like that?
No.
No self-harm, no
anything
like that?
Well, on my mother's side, it had suicidal issues where my uncle, he killed himself. I have a cousin killed herself. My father's side also had one cousin. She and all.
Right. So there's that connection.
Yeah.